Hi friends, this is T. Venkateshwaru and you are watching Sandeep English World. In today's video, you are going to learn about an important topic, that is phonetics. The topic of phonetics is quite useful for both the academic and the competitive aspirants. Let's know about the phonetic symbols first. What is phonetics? Phonetics is the study of speech sounds and how they are produced. In fact, there are 44 sounds in the International Phonetic Alphabet. IPA here refers to the International Phonetic Alphabet. There are 26 letters in the language of English, but for those 26 letters, we have 44 sounds. As per received pronunciation, those who are familiar with these 44 sounds can speak good English by touring around the entire world. The International Phonetic Alphabet is divided into two. One is vowels and the other one is consonants. Vowels are 20 and consonants are 24. Totally there are 44 sounds. Learn these 44 sounds and speak good English to win the applause of a number of people. There are only 26 letters, but we have 44 sounds in English. It means, what do we understand by it? There is no letter to letter corresponding sound. Whereas in the other languages, each letter has its own sound. But in English, one letter has more than one sound. In fact, there are only 5 vowels in English: A, E, I, O, U. But for those 5 vowels, we have 20 vowel sounds. Let us know in brief about those 20 vowel sounds first. See, the symbols are kept only in slashes, in between the slashes. This sound is said to be E, long E. E, as in eat. See, initially, medially and finally, this sound occurs. And how these sounds occur initially, medially and finally. In case of the word eat, so initially we say E, eat. Medially, meat. In between, we say. In the middle, we get the sound of E, meat. And finally to T, tea. When the word ends with E, that finally it occurs. And the second vowel sound, this is the short E, I. It should be sounded as I, as in it. It initially, and in the middle, sit, and finally, city, city. The third one, this is A. The sound is pronounced as A, as in engine, engine. There are many people who mispronounce it as engine. This is not E, it is A. The initial sound is A, engine. And medially it occurs bet, bet, A, bet. And finally, no word in English ends with the sound of A. So finally it doesn't occur. Next one. This sound is pronounced as A. In fact, in Telugu we don't have this sound. No A. But in English, initially it occurs as, as. Medially, man, doesn't occur. Next one, this one is pronounced as ah, long ah, with the wide open mouth we pronounce ah, as in art. Initially it is sounded as art, and medially it is sounded as heart, and finally it occurs as in far. Next sound, this is O, a rounded vowel. It is a rounded vowel. Lips are rounded when we utter the sound as O, as in on, and immediately as in what, got, pot, lot, dot, like that. And finally this sound never occurs. Next one. It's a rare sound, and most of the Telugu people and Hindi speaking people and some others can't utter this sound as O. This sound is O. The mouth is at the half open and half closed position when we utter this sound. As in order. Initially it occurs as O, order. As in bought. Immediately we get the sound as bought, O, bought. And finally also it occurs as in low, as in saw. I saw him yesterday. I saw him. So generally we mispronounce it as I saw him yesterday. Not that. So I saw him yesterday. It is nearly pronouncing like so. Not exactly so, nearly. I saw him yesterday. Law and order. Mouth is at a half open and half closed position when we utter the sound of O. And the sound is U, short U. The sound is short U. Initially it doesn't occur, and in the middle it occurs look, and finally to, finally it occurs. And this is long ooze. Initially ooze, medially stool, and finally shoe, long oo. And coming to the next sound, the 10th word, this is pronounced as a. Initially it occurs as in up. Medially it occurs but, and finally we don't have the sound of a in an English word. 11th one, this is a. It is mispronounced by most of the English learners. This is a, as it occurs initially in the word earth, not earth. This is earth, and medially it occurs turn. Finally furred. Next word, this is a, as in shva, a. Initially it occurs aloud. We mispronounce it as yellowed, not ya. This is a. Lips move apart when we utter the sound of a. This is a weak sound like a, aloud. And medially it occurs as purpose. And finally, murder. Murder. Most of the words ending with R give the sound of A. Murder. Brother, mother, sister. A. And the remaining 8 up to 12 we can say they are monophthongs. Monophthongs, only one sound. In case of the remaining vowel sounds, these 8 are said to be diphthongs. Diphthongs, here diphthongs means union of two vowel sounds. That the diphthong occurs when one vowel glides from one sound to the other sound. As in A. This is A. We have already learnt. This is E. This diphthong glides from A to E so that it is pronounced as A. 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 As in aim. Aim. Medially as in gain. Game. Finally as in day. Day. We mispronounce it as day. Day. But there should be a slight gliding. A. Day. And the other sound, other diphthong, which is a part of a vowel. This is A. From A to E. This is A and this is E. I. As in eyes. Initially it occurs as in eyes and medially as in fine, fine, and finally as in by, I, not by, by, A to E. The other sound, the other diphthong, that is O. From A to U. This diphthong glides from A to U. O. O. Own. Own. Initially it occurs medially as in boat. Boat. And finally as in grow. O. Grow. And the next sound. This is O. This here also we find the vowel glide from A to U. O. O. As in owl. Initially it occurs owl. Medially as in crowd. Crowd. Finally how. Ow. And the next one, another diphthong, I. This is O plus E, oi. Here also vowel glide, oi, as in oil. Oil. Initially it occurs oil. Medially soil. And finally boy, oi, boy, koi, toy, like that. And this one, this is ear. Ear. The vowel glide here takes place from E to A. Ear. Ear. As in ear. Initially ear. Medially, merely, and finally dear. Dear. Say this sound occurs in many words. Dear, seer, beer, gear. The word G-E-A-R, it is mispronounced as gear, not gear, it is gear. Do remember the sound. And then 19th one, air, from A to A. Air, as in air, A-I-R, air. Caring, care, medially, air, care. Caring, as in hair. Finally, hair. Even for the word H-E-I-R, we give the same sound. H-E-I-R, hair. H-E-R-E, hair. Hair. This is a diphthong. Another final word regarding vowels, final sound. Ua. This vowel flight takes place from U to A. Uar, uar. Initially, we don't have the sound of uar, but medially and finally we have ua. Surely. The sound sha we learn later. This symbol use the sound of sha, sha. Surely, surely, tua, tua. These are all the vowel sounds. Only for 5 vowel sounds we have 20 vowels. Only for 5 letters, 5 vowels in the language of English, we have 20 vowel sounds. If we learn all these things, we can speak good English. Regarding consonants, there are 24 consonant sounds. The first one is pa, pa. The sound is p, as in pin. Initially it occurs as in pin, and medially it occurs as in spin, and finally it occurs as in cup, cup, p. Next sound b, b, as in bin. Initially it occurs bin, and medially rubber, rubber. There are 2 consonants. We should not have any gemination here. There are people who mispronounce it as rubber, rubber. It's a wrong pronunciation. Only a single consonant should be sounded. Rubber, rubber. And finally, rub, rub, b. That bilabial. 2 lips move. The 2 lips come to a close position, and by using the 2 lips, the 2 sounds p, b. That is next t, t. This is as in top. Medially it occurs as in top, and initially it occurs as in top, and medially it occurs as in stop, stop, and finally as in hat. Next sound, this is d, d, deer. Initially it occurs as in deer, deer. The middle, sudden, sudden, and finally as in red, red. This is k, k, as in king, king. Sky. In the medial position it occurs sky, as in sky, and in the final position ask, task, bask, like that. This is g, g, as in gun, gun. Beggar, beggar. Only a single consonant should be pronounced, not beggar, beggar, beggar. Rug, rug. This is ch, ch, as in chip. Initially it occurs as in chip. Actually, actually, actually. This is cha, actually. Reach, reach. This is ja, j, as in jam. Initially jam. Suggest, suggest. And this is batch, batch. This sound is mispronounced by most of the learners, and we should never utter the sound of da, da. Never utter the sound of da, as in batch, lodge, bridge, fridge. Never use. Wherever D is followed by G, only the sound of ja, ja, batch, lodge, like that. This is fa, 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 as in fine, fine. Medially left, left, and finally life, life. This is va, va. So this V sound is somewhat different from W sound. This V sound occurs, this Va occurs when the lower lip touches the upper teeth. When we say Va, Va, as in Va, lower lip touches the upper teeth. Van, violence, vinegar, Va, Va, as in van, medially, revise, revise, and finally leave, leave, Va, Va, leave. And this one, Tha, 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 as in thin, thin, paths, paths, as in bath. So in all the three positions this sound occurs. The sound of da. This is da, as in then. Here, this is da. Then, initially it occurs then, medially it occurs rather, rather, and finally it occurs bathe, bathe. And let's know about the other sounds also. This is the sound of s, as in sin. Initially, the sound of s occurs as in sin, medially as in assist, assist, and finally as in rise, rise. And this is the sound of z. We don't have this sound in Telugu. This is initially zoo, zoo, medially raised, 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 and finally eggs. We mispronounce it as eggs, not the sound of a sa, here the sound of z, eggs, eggs. And this is the sound of sh, as in sugar, 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 medially as in ash, ashes, ashes, and finally as in push, push. And this is the sound of ja. Very rarely we use it in other languages also. Ja, ja. This is genre. A genre. It's a kind of style in the language of English. Genre. And medially leisure, leisure. As finally mirage, mirage. It's a scientific term. Mirages. Mirages occur due to the total internal reflection. And the sound of ha, ha. It occurs medially and initially, but finally it won't occur. As in hat, hat, hot, hat, behind, behind. Next sound as in man, man, summer, summer, as in thumb, thumb. See, the sound is different. Where M is followed by B, that the final B is silent in most of the English words. Thumb, not thumb. Bomb, but not bomb. Bomb, lamb, womb, tomb, comb. In all these words, where M is followed by B, B is silent, only M is pronounced. This is na, as in nest, nest, as in manner, manner, woman, woman. This is ng. Initially, it never occurs in English. And we don't have this sound initially, ng. We don't begin any word in English. Here in the middle, we get the sound. Singing, singing, sing, song, ring, wrong, This is la, as in lamp, lamp initially, long, long, medially, and finally pull, pull. This is ra, ra, r, r. Initially red, red, frictionless continuant like red, red. Sorry, medially it occurs, sorry, and finally it never occurs. So the letter may be J, but not the sound of ja. Here the letter is J in English, but the sound is ya, ya, as in yes, yes, as in stew, stew, not a student, student, student. And finally we don't have the sound of ya. And in case of the sound of the letter W, this is wa, wa, as in wet. Two lips are involved here. Wet, wet. Language, language, which, bilabial. By using the two lips, we get the sound of W. That is wa, wa. So these are all the sounds that are related to phonetics. If you are thorough with these 44 symbols, these 44 sounds, you can speak good English without the help of others by simply referring to the dictionary, the standard dictionaries like Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary. You can learn how to pronounce a number of words. And that's the end of the topic. Happy learning!